Good day, everyone. So I want to go over some research I've been doing. This is all going to do with the moon. Now, I did release a video already about moon illusion. I'll have a link below so you can go back and watch that before this, because I'm not going to really go on to that much because that research is there already. But keep in mind, there is a documented illusion that they call it, and it does cover more than just the moon. It covers the sun and the stars. I'll have a link to this wiki for you so you can go over this, but take a look at that. So also throughout this I'll be clipping in some footage from other videos, playing also some music and going over some lyrics that pertain, in my opinion, to the deception of the flat earth, or the globe lie around our flat earth, and see how you guys feel about it, if that's what you see, if maybe I'm looking too far into this. But to me, there's always seems to be these connections that we should look at, you know. It's kind of interesting as I'm talking to you down here. I'm just looking in this article and I see the 33 pop out, you know. Is that something we've got to really pay attention to, that number, or not? I mean, it sure does come up a lot when you look at Masons and color orange and the symbology they have. So little things like that, is that stepping too far or not? Not sure. I mean, messages have come in all shapes, sizes, and forms. So numbers and symbols, I don't really think that's too far to reach. So what we'll do is we're going to go into, first of all, I want to talk about phosphorus. It's quite interesting. As I was researching the moon and looking at stuff, I started thinking about, I saw a video about fireflies.
So we're out at Goshen Ponds. We're out here today looking for fireflies. People don't think they're here in the West because fireflies are traditionally an eastern species.
And how light can be actually created on its own, which we're seeing with the moon, because we are not seeing a reflection of the sunlight because the properties are different. So we cannot, in my opinion, start with the theory that it's reflected sun when we already have experiments that have proven otherwise. So the next thing is like we got to look towards you know, other things that could be possibly causing this effect. So through my research, I stumbled upon phosphorus. And it's quite interesting. I'm going to leave a link to this article and you can go through it in detail, but I'm just going to bring up a couple interesting points. The year they discovered it was 1669. You know, reverse that 9, there's your 666. So there's a ploy there, and if you didn't catch it there, they even, you know, have it as the word came from Lucifer, referring to the morning star, you know, the planet Venus and Mercury. So I mean, they're really, it's right there. I mean, it's like having a code book with the encrypted message sitting right beside you, right? You know, or the cheat key from the back of the book when you're taking a test. That's the way I'm kind of seeing it. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, it really lends itself towards that when you start to think that we call them lunar eclipses, you know, Lucifer, lunar. People go insane or lunatics at during a full moon.
We found flashing fireflies in Utah. That's a pretty big deal, and can't wait to get them back to the lab and start to analyze them and see what species they are. The reason why people like fireflies so much is that they produce their own light.
You know, and phosphorus, when you read through it, actually will change its color depending on the temperature. And they say right there with the red phosphorus, it's due to being exposed to sunlight.
And it's something that captivates us. And beyond that, the light's beautiful. They come in greens and yellows and oranges. They come out in large numbers.
So I wonder if that has a lot to do with it. And this violet and black, you know, we look into the Bible and we hear this black sun and stuff. I'm wondering if they're talking about the moon turning black.
And it's a pyrotechnics show. Firefly flashes or bioluminescence, the molecular structure of that has actually been used for a long time in medicine.
Just very interesting stuff here. So definitely go and take a read through this article. I don't want to spend a lot of time breaking it down, but definitely look at those because when we look at fireflies, you're going to see they're bioluminescent.
You have two molecules. You have luciferin and luciferase. And the firefly can control both those molecules. And when they come together, it creates a flash.
And they produce, or there's two chemicals with them that react to each other. And they just happen to be called luciferin, or I think it is pronounced, and the other one luciferin. And then I'll leave these links for the Firefly where you can come and check this out, and it's right in the light chemical production. And then you go to...
So we've actually been all over the world collecting fireflies, and we bring them all back into our lab and we do research on their eyes and their photic organs, which is the flashing part of their tail.
Both of these, and check out the way they look and the DNA structures, that circular pattern that we see within our own. And just reading through the article, just a lot of interesting things that you can learn about these two. You know, and it definitely points towards, you know, a complete connection to Lucifer.
And we'll sequence those genes, and we'll put those genes into a larger database of other firefly species. I've never seen that before, and I've been collecting in Utah for 10 years.
And all of this, like from your firefly to phosphorus to the moon, it's just quite interesting, you know, with the lunar eclipse and everything. The blood moon that we see where it goes red, that totally fits the properties that we see over in phosphorus.
My colleagues at work have been collecting for 30 plus, and they've never seen it till last year.
So this might be a great direction for a lot of people, if you're interested, to delve into with me, because I'll continue to do research. But what I do is I do research into about 10 different topics at once. So consider this like the surface part of the research. I believe there's still lots more that can be learned if we go through and break this down, because the way they explain the axis, the degree tilt, the orbits, and all this, and how these solar eclipses happen. I read through quite a bit of it, and at first glance, now not saying I've actually broken down every number and built myself a little model yet, but I plan to eventually put that to test. And if someone wants to jump the gun on that right away and get a model built and try to put that model from their numbers into a physical form so that you can test it, I think that will reveal a lot of truth.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4.
And it's quite interesting too, with this phosphorus, it reacts to oxygen. Same you're going to find with the firefly. Its bioluminescence is dependent on the oxygen.